Hi, Chris here, Chris Newman, with a bit more on angelology. Behind me I've got a little map and I'm going to take you through how it all works. It's very simple. I'm going to explain the Lucifer Satan's dictatorship, which feeds off the collapsed ideal, which is us. So we've got the beginning again, the same foundation: mind, soul, spirit, body. And at the center I put the tree of the knowledge, good and evil. Tree being human being, tree symbolizes a human. Knowledge of good and evil means the death of the ideal, the death of God's ideal, because God's ideal is not one of conflict and of confusion. And if you introduce that, it's like pouring sand into gears. They don't work. So you could think of the humans, our psychology and our lives and our communities and everything was meant to work in a beautiful way and was set up in such a principle-ordered manner, but we have poured sand into our very gears and it's tangled up and messed the story. That's the knowledge, good and evil. Not knowledge of, but the knowledge, good and evil. So let's start with the mind. In the mind, affected by the dictatorship of Lucifer Satan, the schizoid being, our intellect, we have the divided, confused mind, conflicting thoughts, ignorance. We can expand all those, but I'm sure you get the message. Inside the soul, emotions, conflicting feelings, stupidity, dullness. Over there in the body, physical degradation, abuse, dulled senses. There's a whole lot going on. Over here in the spirit, we've got spiritual paralysis, loss, grief, vacuity, because the nature of the spirit is to seek truth, life and love, and instead it ends up with good and evil, mixed, confusion. This state of ongoing confusion leads to instability within us individually, within relationships, within society, within our arrangements, within business, everything. And of course, brutality on earth as the dictatorship crushes the rise of Adam. Furthermore, the good and evil knowledge leads to deceit. Deceit means disintegration. Integration is where things are whole. Disintegration is where the whole is pulled apart, fragmented. Degeneration. Degeneration means things don't grow and expand, they break down. So the consequence of this Lucifer Satanic dictatorship is that humans are trapped in fallen spiritual zones, and in those fallen and confused zones we experience fractured reality. Fractured reality is often spoken of as hypocrisy. Oh, somebody's a hypocrite. What does that mean? They don't walk their talk. There's a huge difference between their words and their deeds. A great gap, and in that gap is the mixture of good and evil spinning away. The situation on earth, I'm going to use this word, I'll just put it up again because this is a mythological word, but the labyrinth helps understand the meaning of what we're seeing, because a labyrinth is an enclosed place of entrapment, and yet within the labyrinth everything appears to be normal. Living inside a labyrinth surrounded by the various walls and enclosures, you don't know there's another world of freedom and light. That is the predicament of humankind living within this relationship. I thought that this model would help expand on my previous angelology, so I called it more angelology. And if you have any questions, please, send them through on YouTube. I can back all this up by a lot more evidence and a lot more data, but I think you get the idea. Mind, soul, spirit and body. In the ideal sense, they would all be functioning in a beautiful way, but here we have the fractured reality of hypocrisy. And if you have trouble getting this, I suggest you watch the 6 o'clock news, listen to any talkback radio, go to the library and pick up one of those novels. It's all there. Go for a walk down Queen Street or any street in any town and talk to people and start to get the feedback. I don't think you're going to find anything outside of what I'm talking about here as the general picture within which we find ourselves trapped. Because remember, the Lucifer Satan's dictatorship feeds off the collapsed ideal, which is us. We are contributing to our own demise. But when you stop and turn off the switch and open another circuit, the original heavenly circuit, you can change all of reality. Thank you for considering this. I make this offering for you and for your freedom. Chris Newman, Truth and Consequences, and I've identified the consequences of the tree of the knowledge, good and evil. Thank you.